this has to be one of the worst weapon rolls I've ever seen on a gun. Ever.
So, confession, I was actually, after our last cleaning, I was pretty good for a while, keeping things clean. And then, you know, as all things happen, it just kind of slipped away little by little.
Okay.
And then there's, you know, some things to farm and whatever. And so it kind of got out of control. And now, you know, Final Shape coming up, want to give it a nice spring cleaning. So at least have some room in there to be ready for the new expansion when it comes out.
Okay. So where did we end last time? Do you remember?
I think we got down to like around 400 from 600, somewhere in that vicinity.
Okay. So we didn't completely decimate it, but we put a dent in there. Okay.
You can be brutal today. Whatever you say, pretty with the, if it's a PvP thing, I might hold on to it, but for PvE, I give you my full confidence. All right, you ready?
Let's see it.
All right. So each character is also pretty jam-packed right now.
Let me see your character. Open up your character right now.
Okay. So I'll just show you. Can you see the dim one?
Oh my God.
It's sort of like
Bro, it's on every character almost.
There's a lot of overflow at the moment.
I saw like 3 grenade launchers from Root of Nightmares.
So okay, a couple things, like for example, I was farming for I finally got Apex Predator Red Border, which I had been like meaning to do for forever. I finally got that done. In the process, you know, you get all this other crap that you don't really need.
Right.
And so, you know, there's some I have a couple questions on things like that we can go through.
Okay.
And for example, like supremacy, like I have an old, you know, PvP supremacy, which I, you know, actually probably don't need anymore, but like there was a couple supremacies I saw when I was kind of flicking through here, like bait and switch, you know, I don't know, worth keeping on a supremacy when you could, mine's not craftable yet. So anyway, let's go from the beginning and I'll let you call stuff out.
This man is busting out the Genesis bait and switch. This is some 2027 level tech. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, that could be the meta, right? Just a couple changes here and there, and all of a sudden everyone's hunting for that thing.
Okay. The first thing I'm going to tell you is go to the next page.
Okay.
Dead center, we have a red border, Tears of Contrition.
This guy, yep.
Are you a big Tears of Contrition enjoyer?
Don't think I've ever used this. I will extract the pattern and then
guess what? You never will.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever actually used this weapon once.
Yeah, get the pattern and we get out.
Okay.
There's just so many things here that I see that I'm just like, you're never going to use this. You're never going to touch this.
Let's burn through them. I'm ready to part with them.
Okay. Go back to the first page real quick. This page feels pretty locked in. Like, I don't think I'm going to make any progress here. I see a lot of one-offs. I mean, I'm also seeing like a 7th Seraph Carbine. I don't know why you got that, but
probably
and I'm
a
seeing
PvP
like
roll.
I'm seeing an escape velocity, I think, on the 4th row, 3rd over. So this is not a page I envision making a lot of progress on. This one you're going to need to justify though.
We can delete this. I probably kept it for like a PvP SMG tier list or something at some point. So,
and do me a favor, hit E. Sorry, I'm trying to remember what tendencies certain people have. Okay, so you either don't use stuff or you just don't upgrade it.
I only upgrade stuff when I use it. So like I will throw there, you'll find a couple like random 1810s in here that are like, why do you have that? It's just because it's like extra infusion stuff for when I do want to upgrade something.
Okay.
But I'm also okay with getting rid of those at this point. That was more of like a first time hitting 1810 thing that just never got deleted.
Yeah. So I'm seeing a lot of 1600s, which means you're still not using them.
Correct.
So if you only upgrade when you use something, anything 1600 has gone unused for a year minimum.
Probably true, except for some PvP weapons that I might use and don't need to bother upgrading in that case. But yes, generally speaking, I agree with that.
All right. I'm glad you're agreeing with a factual statement. It's very good. All right. For the sake of time, because I don't have 3 hours
Yep.
to go through whatever's going on here. Let's go to the next page where I think there's a lot more stuff that we can purge.
Yep.
Basically, you look like you masterwork anything that actually gets used. So anything that's not masterworked, I have questions.
Sure.
You don't have a lot of dupes. You just have a lot of stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
Like third row. Third row, like just go left to right. Like, what are we cooking here?
Good old Silicon Aroma.
Okay.
That's a decent PvP roll. Oh, we got Ragnar. Let's see, this is craftable, right? So I don't need this.
It is craftable.
And I, honestly, I never use the shotgun.
That thing is not even that great.
Yeah. Percy's D. What do you think about this?
Here's what I think about scouts and pulses in PvE. All dog. They're dog. They're doggy doo-doo unless they're exotic. Legendary scouts, they just do no damage at all. Autos, hand cannons, that's where it's at. Legendary weapons, that's where it's at. I'll maybe give you an auto rifle.
Okay.
But scouts, to me, we are not in a scout world anymore.
Okay.
We're just not.
That's
at least
a
legendary scout world.
It's not a weapon I tend to use anyway, so that's good to hear from you.
If like Bungie has said too many times now that they're like, look, the further back you want to play, the less damage that you are going to do. It's on every single damage chart, DPS chart, weapon chart that I've ever seen. It's so consistent. Sidearms deal the most because they're the closest. Scouts deal the least because they are the farthest. And this, again, this is specifically legendary weapons. I know exotics are their whole own world.
Yeah.
And also this is mainly like high end PvE opinions. Like if you're in like, well, I'm using my scout in the seasonal activity. Nobody cares about the seasonal activity.
Right. You're talking
in terms of
raids,
the meta.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So in terms of that, go run your seasonal activities. Have fun with the scout rifle. Me, I'm good. This fire fright that you just hovered over.
I just extracted the deep side on this one, so I think I can get rid of this. I'm still looking for like a perfect PvP one, which I need one more to be able to craft one. So I'm gonna hold on to it for right now until I craft one, and then I'll get rid of this one.
But do you plan on using this before you get a crafted one?
I might for a video purpose potentially. I know people. I haven't put a lot of time into this. I know a lot of people love this gun, and this is actually a pretty decent roll. So I'll probably keep this one until
people liking Firefly. I thought Amit was the rage.
Oh, I don't, dude. I know a few people who love this thing in PvP. So I don't know. Again, I haven't used it much myself, but that's one of the only ones I'm holding on to that I'll be like, once I get the crafted one, I'll nuke it. But I need to wait for that week to come around. Actually,
big. Hey, I just saw Heat. I just saw Heat. It came out in the 90s.
Okay, how about Burden of Guilt?
I mean, that's a PvP role, if anything.
Yeah.
PvE, this is near worthless.
Yeah, I just don't use these almost at all. I'm not a fusion guy in PvP. I've tried to be every once in a while, but
let me see this Riptide.
Yeah, Riptide. This is probably not a great one.
I mean, what is this? Is this another PvP thing?
No, this is probably just like I got it from PvP and threw it in there.
All right. Smite Moraine.
Smite.
What is this? What is this?
PvP roll on a weapon. That's not even particularly good, but okay, we can.
Again, I'm going to be so much more brutal on stuff that's 1600.
Yeah.
If it's 1600. I need some strong justification.
Real quick, I want to thank War Thunder for sponsoring this video. It's the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and it's free on PC and consoles. Picture this, over 2,500 vehicles at your fingertips. We're talking tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships spanning from the 1920s all the way up to the tech of today. The vehicles and environments are incredibly detailed, and the graphics and sound effects are surprisingly immersive. In particular, I really like the vehicle damage model. It has this X-ray view where you can see exactly what happened to the vehicle when it gets hit. There's a massive community of over 70 million players worldwide. You can dive into some PvP action and see what I mean. For anyone with even a slight interest in military history, War Thunder is pretty great. The game is free to play on PC and console, and both new and returning players who haven't played for 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack. Just use my link in the description to get multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of a premium account. It's available for a limited time, so don't forget to claim it. So Whistler, I know some people liked this when it first came out. I'm not a bow guy. Like, I rarely ever use them. So, and I guess this is a PvP looking roll anyway. So
yeah, I'm not a legendary bow Andy when it comes to high-end PvE. I think if you're using a bow in PvE, you should be using an exotic if you can help it. Because the exotic bows are just so insanely strong compared to a legendary bow. I just think it's worth that extra investment into using your exotic slot on a bow. I know the Tyranny of Heaven crowd is going to come after me. Tyranny of Heaven, it's good though, bro. And it's like, have you seen Hierarchy of Needs lately?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you used Tikus at any point? Even La Monarch kind of cooks the overloads. So
all right, we're nuking it. I feel like this is one of those ones, maybe PvP people who like bows will be mad about this, but you know what? I never use bows.
You
I'm
know
not
what?
A bow guy,
the 9 of them will get over it.
There's dozens of them, man.
The 9 people using a bow that isn't La Monarch, you'll get over yourselves.
Yeah, this looks like another PvP role probably, and not something I really see myself. I mean, I'm sure it's good for PvP if you're into it.
It's got a nice setup, but yeah, I mean, it's 1600, 0 kills.
Yeah. I just don't. I'm just not a sidearm guy in PvP either. Is the thing. So okay, here's a good one. Militia's probably not a great PvE role, I suppose, right?
I love One for All. I think One for All does not get nearly enough respect in the PvE world because I think it's either one of the or potentially the best PvE perk when it comes to like specials and primaries and stuff like that.
Okay.
Well, because look at its activation. You hit 3 different enemies.
Right.
And you get a 30 or 35% damage increase for 10 seconds. And all you need to do is just hit enemies. You don't even need to kill them. You don't need to crit them. You just need to you look at them and you click your mouse one time.
Yeah. I guess it scales well against tanky stuff too, right? Because you can just hit them without having to get a kill proc.
It's the freest. Like, you think Rampage is like decent. This thing it does not get the respect that it deserves. Now, that being said, if I saw this Malicious Birthright roll into my inventory, this would be an instant dismantle.
Okay.
Because I think wave frames are just too hot right now. But
yeah, I'm more into waves myself as well. So.
Yeah, this needs to. You really got to have some kind of a setup for it. I feel like it's not something that I would just kind of throw on.
Okay, I'm cool with that. This was a great PvP role back in the day before Rangefinder got nerfed, and these days I guess not really relevant anymore, so gotta get rid of it. Okay,
is red border here on the disparity?
Red border, yeah, I could probably just yank this. Any reason to keep this otherwise, you think?
I mean, Swash Eye of the Storm just feels, I mean, like, I know what kind of rolls you can get on this thing, and this is not the one that I'd be looking at.
Yeah, it's definitely PvP centered, but again, you can craft it, so if I really, really want it, I could probably go get it that way.
Next row, I mean, or even the Liminal Vigils, like...
What do you think about this guy?
I mean, you get that melee synergy. That's kind of cool, I guess, but I've gotten a bunch of these before, like, Demo and Grenadier, or like whatever the hell they are now.
Yeah.
The 2 grenade perks. I don't remember.
That's literally probably the only reason I kept this is the combo.
Yeah, it's like, oh, cool synergy. But have you done anything with it?
I don't think I've ever fired this weapon one time. Well, zero defeats.
Then it's time to go.
All right.
Then it's time to go. Like, those synergies are cool and everything, but it's like, yeah, but you're not building for it. You're not doing anything with it.
How about a good old Desperado one?
Desperado Headstone. I thought I was gonna like Desperado on this thing way, way more than I ended up liking it. I actually am not crazy about it, but I'm also not super interested in sidearms.
Okay.
Headstone, on the other hand, is nice. I think some people would get mad if you deleted it. I would understand if you wanted to delete it, but I'd also understand wanting to keep it just because, like, of where it drops from.
Yeah,
And this
yeah,
is like this is
exactly.
a perk combo that I think people are like, oh my god, it's so crazy.
Okay.
So I think it has some viability, but again,
All right.
you gotta find the spot for it.
I'll keep it for the headstone mains out there who
Yeah,
appreciate
love
headstone.
me a
So,
headstone.
yep. Hey, well, by the way, what about this peace bond? While I'm looking at this, in
What about this piece?
yeah, we got some demo.
I'm just getting rid of it immediately. I just toss it.
Okay.
Yeah. This fourth row here. I mean, you got a couple roses. What are you what are you using right now for your hand cannon?
Yeah, always still looking for like the perfect rose. I have probably some that are better than this though. So
Okay.
yeah, I could probably
that thing's pretty popping, but all right.
I mean, the thing is, rose. There's like a million good rolls, right? So
Yeah.
it's tough. I think I have better ones than this though. I've been collecting them
All right.
quite a bit. I mean, even like slide shot.
What's the hand cannon that you're using right now?
To be honest, SMG is most is the hand cannon I'm using.
Hey, thank
but
you
if
for
I
your
am using a
honesty.
hand cannon, like probably like explosive slide shot rose, something like that. I think that's pretty hard to beat. But rose is great. It has so many good perks. It's like pretty much you can't get a bad one. So, you know. Let's see.
All
How
right.
about these fusions here? What do you think about this guy?
So
Chill clip?
now that Bungie has said that they're going to be adjusting chill clip to probably do the thing that everybody wants it to do, which is scale with charge time, this has maybe potentially a little more value, but where I don't like it is subsistence, because subsistence is all
thinking,
about
yeah.
chain killing. But if you're using this for chill clip, you're not really doing chain killing. I feel like this is more like anti-champion tech
Yeah.
versus versus like a killing machine. So that's where I have some hesitancy.
I'm not sure if I
But-
have other chill clip ones. So maybe we just like hang on to it until we find a chill clip one and come back to it, you think? If we
Yeah,
find
I
a
think that would
better
be
one?
I think that'd be okay. But it is a world drop, so you don't really have that much control. Also, if you have like a deliverance, that's like a 770 charge time, and that hopefully would also maybe be a 2-shot freeze potentially. If it is a 2-shot freeze, then I think Orvendil stonks are going way down.
I was gonna say, what about the high impact in general, like in PvE these days? Like, is that desirable? I don't use a lot of fusions other than the rapid ones. So.
I mean, Eremite is probably one of the better fusions in the game right now, and that's a high impact. But that's mainly because it can get really good perks on the gun. So like I was using that thing during Crota, like Crota DPS.
Oh, really? Okay.
So yeah, Eremite I think is absolutely worth something picking. I think it was like one of my top 5 weapons, top 5 crafted weapons of the year is Eremite. I think it was like number 5.
That's quite a reward. That's good. Yeah.
So
all right.
So yeah, that thing's pretty good as well. So
How about the scout? I don't even know how to say this word. The scout, we got kill clip, perpetual, obviously PvP, but any reason to keep these for? I mean, it's a scout rifle like we talked about. So.
I cannot get behind scout rifle usage.
Okay.
For anything remotely serious, you just have to be the biggest scout rifle enjoyer of all time to want to use a scout in PvE. I'm sorry, scout enjoyers, but stop trying to make scouts happen.
Okay, how about this SMG? We got a one for all, which you said you like, but offhand strike's probably not a great pairing for that for PvE purposes.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
This is something where like the bar is so high now for perk rolls, where like how much we can optimize things. You just need to be at the top of your game. Now, honestly, do you really? No. Like, if you decide to use that thing, one for all is so strong that, like, who cares about offhand strike? Even having nothing there is okay with something like one hand, all for one.
Yeah.
But, like, when you can optimize and it doesn't really cost you that much, like, why not just do it?
Yep, makes sense. Okay, how about these Rufuses? I got 3 of them here.
Yeah. Do you have a pattern?
I don't yet, which whenever I do have the pattern, of course I can delete most of these, but is there any, I mean, for PvE, like anything worth keeping? We got Perpetual Harmony.
No. I think, what's my role on this thing? Because this thing was
Pugilist.
cooking until I got Quicksilver. Like, if Quicksilver didn't exist, I
Right.
think Rufus's
Yeah.
Fury would just be going absolutely berserk.
Well, sometimes
but-
you want to run a different exotic, so I could see a slot for it if you want a G-Horn or whatever.
Yeah, what do I have? I have I got like a Rewind Paracausal Affinity. Just
Okay.
like making it a workhorse weapon. I got like a Demo Paracausal. I used to have a couple of Adepts, but I just got rid of them because I wasn't using them.
Yeah.
I'm seeing some target lock in the chat. I don't like target lock on a primary for PvE, because if you have to stick on a target for that long to actually start dealing some damage with target lock, you shouldn't be using that weapon in the first place. You should be using something else that deals way more damage. So I think target lock is kind of overrated on primaries for PvE purposes. In general, there are a couple of exceptions. Yes, there's a couple of exceptions, but for Rufus's Fury, I mean, Rufus's Fury might be one. I don't know. I got Sneak in here, one of my associates, and saying TL is an exception on Rufus. Okay, generally speaking, I say target lock on a primary.
Yeah, and for PvP, it's also getting nerfed more heavily soon, so
Right.
losing some value there as well.
Yeah.
So,
All of these Rufuses, I like. There's nothing special about them to me.
Okay.
If you wanted to keep one for the hatchling, that you want to keep the hatchling one,
Yeah, that's
I'd
what I was
say
wondering.
that's the one to keep, because the other
Okay.
ones are just like, they're just very whatever.
all right, let's do it. I'll keep the hatchling. Okay. Let's see. I know I have a
All right,
lot of immortals
you have
here.
you have a Perpetualis right next to it.
Yep.
This is just inferior. It's just
Okay.
inferior to Rufus's Fury. And this one is
Nuking it.
hatchling hip fire. You're not going to use that. Rufus's is just it's up there.
Yeah.
It's a great weapon.
So I'm gonna leave the immortals for now because I'm always kind of switching which one, and I'm gonna wait until the new season and see what's the best. They're all
Okay.
kind of different ones, so we can kind of leave those for now. Okay, another Hung Jury is another scout, of course. I know you're not a fan.
It's like I know it's a classic. But
It's my D1 King's Fall. That was my go-to weapon. It's hard to delete it when you see it. But
it's not D1 King's
I
Fall
know.
anymore. We're in
You're
D2
right.
King's Fall. We're in a different world.
It's true. Man, okay, so I have Bite of the Fox opening shot snapshot, which is great for PvP. I will say though, like I never ever use this gun, and mostly because I'm not a fan of the reticle. I know some people love it.
Is this
but
the one with the carrot, like the little
carrot,
triangle?
Yep. Yeah.
I
the
hate
chevron.
those reticles, bro.
Same.
I
I just
hate it.
I can't do it. So
I hate it.
sorry,
You know what
Sorry, Bite enjoyers, but
Yeah, I can't do that. You know what I also couldn't do for a very long time is Twilight Oath. It like back when in its heyday,
it was a little
because-
different. Yeah.
because I didn't like the sound it made. Literally, the sound threw me off.
Oh, that's
And
funny. Yeah.
because even though the sound comes after you shoot the gun, it has nothing to do with it. But for some reason, it just psyched me out in a weird way. I didn't like the noise that it made, and that actually had an
feel
effect
ya.
on me.
That's funny. That became my main sniper when The Last Word came out because it was high aim assist and everything. And then once the zoom changes happened, where 35 zooms were pretty tough to use after that, I pretty much haven't used it ever since. But for a while, that was like my go-to sniper. And also, it used to be able to double body. That was the big thing.
Yeah, double body
Now you
was
can't,
big.
so.
Yeah.
All right, we got Allied Demand. Again, I don't really use sidearms ever.
What's your most common PvP loadout?
Oh, Immortal and Mercurial for sure. That's like if I'm trying to like win games, that's like my go-to. Otherwise, I mean maybe like hand cannon, shotgun, depending on the situation. But I really like to snipe, so I pretty much that's my.
So you're
go-to.
not using sidearms pretty much at all.
No, because I play mouse and keyboard. They just feel weird on mouse and keyboard for
They
PvP.
do feel weird on mouse and keyboard. Yeah, they do.
So-
In that case, I mean, we have a PvE perk and a PvP perk. So
Okay, let's get rid of it. I mean, it seemed like sidearms had their day in the sun, right, for PvE 8 moons ago. But I mean, do people still use them much? Like, I don't know.
They're high risk, high reward. Like the reward, if you can get maximum damage on a sidearm in high end PvE stuff, it's really good. But the problem is you need to be in that range. Now, there's some strikes that it works out in your favor because you're just forced to have close engagement, right? Fallen Saber, probably number one answer on the board. But there's a lot of other places where it doesn't make logistical sense to use a sidearm because it's too open.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, how about these battle scars? This is these are both PvP looking.
Yeah, if you want something for PvP, I mean they seem okay, but I know we have a dearth of,
There's
is
so
that the
many.
right word? I'm gonna just double check to see if I'm smart or not. Dearth. Oh no, sorry, the opposite of dearth. That's the opposite of dearth. There are a plethora.
Yeah, a plethora. That's my go-to.
Of good
that word
pulse
lately.
rifles.
Okay,
out there,
so,
especially craftable ones that you can get the giga roll of.
Yeah,
every
absolutely.
season I see a wave of PvP players being like, new god roll pulse rifle, new insane pulse rifle. Like, they can't all be insane, man.
No,
but I guess they are. So like Battle Scar, I don't think is one where there's a ton of importance. I mean, it's not bad, but you know,
I'm curious how I don't know how a high impact changes the TTK at all. I guess I might keep this around until the new patch March 5th or whatever, and then see if that is a good TTK combo, and if not, just nuke it.
Yeah.
Then,
well, you also
otherwise
need to
it's a
keep in
good roll.
mind, like, you need to remember that you have it. The first half of the magazine, you're not even getting that active.
Yes.
So you need to wait for the second half, which means you need to either forget to reload, or you need to be in some sort of like back-to-back kill situation, which they do happen.
Yeah.
But do they happen often enough versus something that you can get maximum value out of much more?
Yeah, that's more like a situation like you have slide shot or something where you're intentionally keeping it low, which is, you can manage that, but it's a lot to kind of keep on top of. Okay, we got a lot of autumn wins here. Definitely could probably delete most of these, I would say.
I mean, shot swap, literally, I saw shot swap, and I'm like, I don't even care what else is there. This is gone.
Nuke, okay.
This
We
is
can get rid of
absolutely
this guy.
nuke.
Slide shot, moving target, probably don't care about this either.
I certainly don't.
Yeah.
Let me bring up the old armory here.
And then let's see. This one's okay. Demo Rampage is more PvE viable, I suppose. Out of the three so far.
Demo Rampage. Yeah, I mean, Rampage is just Rampage is like a boomer perk. You know what I mean? It's like, it was good back then, but we have new stuff now.
Yeah.
And
Describing my whole life.
so it's like, it can, it can, but could you also do other things? Probably. Like multi-kill clip, this is just a complete identity crisis.
Yeah, it doesn't consider. I mean, I guess you could go perpetual, but either way, I'm not gonna probably use this ever. So
yeah. So I mean, even the demo Rampage, like it seems good, and maybe there's some more PvP implications for demo Rampage, but like.
Yeah.
You show someone this in like 2018, they're like, oh my god, bro, this weapon's insane. But now we're 2024, right. And it's like, all right, nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, we got Final Shape coming out. We gotta make some room for the new stuff, so I can let that one go. So this Terra Zippos, I remember, I remember Cascade was interesting for a while because like. It would shoot faster. I never really used this, but I know some people are excited about it. And then I've got like also, the classic kill clip.
Yeah.
So
Cascade, I feel like has some like kill clip style potential for PvP. I've never used it, and I also like feel like, look, people use stuff in PvP because it's good. So if I don't see something in PvP, generally I feel like I can assume it's not good.
Yeah.
And I don't recall the last time that I've been killed by a zipper. Now that being said,
probably not for a long time.
I think they are getting a little bit of juice. Yeah, aren't they getting like a little bit of a buff?
I think
Is that going to be
so.
enough though? Yeah. I'm not sure. But if you did want to keep one around,
I'll keep one.
Keep El Clasico around.
Yeah. Last right, I remember being excited about because I liked DMT initially before it became the most hated
this is
gun
also
in PvP.
this is a freaking ritual weapon.
Is this yeah, wait, is this statically rolled, or I forget? I don't remember if this is
Yeah, this is a
random?
ritual weapon, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
So I think you can just ditch this and pull
Get
it
it
out of the
again.
inventory if you want. But
Okay.
I mean, I don't know anybody who's actually unironically used a ritual weapon
No,
in a very long time.
I feel like if I was going to use that, I would just use DMT anyway. So, okay, how about different times?
Ass.
Another pulse. Okay.
Ass.
Delete.
I feel so bad for the deep
All of
weapons.
these are just yeah.
because like they
I've
just were
rarely
not
used
very
them.
good.
Yeah. Same with the shotgun. Get rid of this guy.
I mean, there's like some cascade point memery shenaniganery that you can do. Do you have the pattern for
I'm more
it?
looking like I'm doing a GM with Datto, and he's going through my vault picking me a loadout. Like, is he ever picking this gun?
Am I ever picking this gun? No, probably not.
Okay,
But
get rid of
you
it
know,
then.
it's. Do you have the pattern?
I don't, but I don't think I will ever go through the effort of getting this pattern either.
Okay.
Unless like, again, I'm very PvP like centric in terms of actually grinding for stuff, because that's where I notice a bigger difference. For PvE, it's more like, you know, okay, you get an Apex Predator because it's great, whatever. But like for the kind of like niche weapons, like I'm not really like a niche PvE person.
All right.
That's more PvP for me.
That's fine. Now, that being said, I do feel like you should still at least go get the freebies every week. You know, some of these,
Sure, yeah.
the red borders just from the, you know, Tuesday reset rolls around, you head to the helm, boom, 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 boom. You hit all the vendors, you at least get your freebies. But I totally understand not wanting to farm the deep weapons when most of them are not really that great.
Yeah, absolutely. That said, we're getting rid of this sniper as
Yeah,
well.
we're absolutely getting rid of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. SMG got Envious one
Rapacious.
for all.
Yeah, I don't like Envious on primaries because you need to stow them to get the benefit, and your primary should, you know, it should
Gonna
be
be
your
out
primary
most of the time. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I feel that.
yeah,
Okay.
I've never enjoyed Envious on it. I'd rather have something like a subsistence or a rewind rounds. Where I am more in control.
More of a special weapon perk, Envious, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, cool.
Unless you're really good about constantly swapping your weapons around.
Yeah, no, probably not. I think this is my best spare, so I'll probably keep this unless I see a better one. Yeah, it's like don't need this. This perk, I don't even remember if it was used much or not, but
I know people really like it. I never really got on the kinetic tremors train.
Yeah.
I know people enjoy it. For me, it just felt like it took too long to really get it active. And also, I've been like, Quicksilver Storm is basically glued to my hands. So my primary is like, why do I need kinetic tremors when I can just launch a grenade at something for free?
sure, yeah. There's so many good options out there. I guess one thing to consider is, I mean, there's so many. I like Rose. I think is just straight up better than Spare. So
that is all I needed to hear.
Yeah, just that movement.
And
okay,
I think you know it needs to be done.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep one of them just to have one, and then
all right,
the other ones.
This
is we
hang
talked
on.
about this
before
sure.
before this, the frickin' scout to this what is it, transfiguration?
Transfig, yeah.
Are we keeping this because of the rampage kill clip?
I was trying to get this for years. Like years I was trying to get this role for PvP, and I finally randomly got it while farming for red borders. So I haven't even used it in PvP. I don't even know if it still can 2-tap or whatever it could do back in the day, but I'm hesitant to get rid of it until I can actually shoot it at least once.
All right, fine. If this is
and then be disappointed
for content,
and then delete it.
Yeah, if it's for content, fine. Keep it, make your video, ditch it.
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, how about supremacies here? Bait and switch on supremacy. Any value to that?
So, okay, here's the thing. So, I think the only time we have like a swap meta where you actually want to be using not your heavy weapon is like some sort of Izanagi's situation.
Yep.
But that being said, you have Genesis on both of these. and we don't have like a triple tap or something.
No, yeah. So not worth
you're not
keeping,
going to be like, the only time you're going to want to bait and switch to Supremacy is when you're not going to be able to, because all of your power ammo is going to be gone. And I legitimately don't know if bait and switch procs if you don't have any power ammo. I'm guessing probably not.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. So anyway, I think we can nuke these.
Here's what I'll say. In 2027, this will pop off when we go absolutely gigabrain Genesis crazy tech. But for now, this is insanity.
Well, in that case, I've got 3 years to farm another one, so I think I can manage. Okay, good old Randy's. How about, you remember Randy's?
I love Randy's throwing knife. I think I got 9,000 kills PvE on this thing.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, the old school one. I love Randy's throwing knife. It cooked.
So I got a adaptive and a gut shot, and then Zen box. This for PvP is probably substantially better, I would guess.
The fact, talk to me about talk to me about the reason why you kept a gut shot straight adaptive munitions Randy's throwing knife.
I have justification for this. This was probably just claimed.
One of the worst weapon rolls I've ever seen on a gun. Ever.
I'm not a big fan of gut shot in the first place.
It's ass.
Yeah, and then adaptive, I know people were hyped up for a while. I guess ever since
they were hyped for about changes. They were hyped for 12 minutes, and then Bungie like made changes that made this completely irrelevant. Like, this was some match game stuff back when we had match game and it actually mattered, and now we don't. So this is completely irrelevant.
Okay. It does look cool. I like the suppressor on it, but
yeah. I think, so we have an irrelevant perk and one of the worst perks in the game on the combo. Same gun. Worse than Underdog Unrelenting? Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Way worse than Underdog Unrelenting.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, slide shot Adagio?
Tell me this is just some infusion fodder.
Yeah. This is a 1810. That's got to be the only reason I have that still.
Okay.
The Glissando, another scout.
Are you using box breathing scouts?
Well, no. For PvP, I know you can potentially change TTKs with these, but I don't use scouts in the first place, so I'm cool with getting rid of this guy. I know
there's some box breathing PvP tech, but you got to be using it.
Yeah, and I'm not. I'm gonna have something better, most likely. This is probably more just infusion for fuel. Any reason to keep this in light and golden? I'd
say not.
Okay.
Okay, that we maybe hang on to this because we got controlled burst. Yeah. We maybe hold this.
Okay.
Until you get one that's like, this has got Envious. Is this Envious controlled burst or is this like Recon controlled burst? Let me double check. This is Envious.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, but this is a world drop, so you have to get the perfect roll.
Yeah, that's tough to do.
Do you have? Okay, here's what I will say is, at the very least, go get a scatter signal from this season. Go get it craftable if you don't have it already.
I do. I know I have at least one. I have a few of them. Okay. I don't know if I have any good. I haven't crafted yet, but yeah, they're all
also ass. And ass. Okay, so 3. Let's drag those 3 onto your hunter right now and get rid of them.
Yep.
And this is no. If there's a weapon to go get this year, not even this season, one. This year, get the pattern for this thing.
Okay. I can
do yourself the favor, especially while this is the activity is dropping so much free loot.
Yeah.
How do you get the pattern? You get the pattern. It's from Riven. The same that you do every other pattern that you get from seasonal activities.
I think we were on page 2, right? Is this where we were still?
Yeah, we were here.
Oh, at the bottom, basically.
We're on page 2. Yeah. We're down 46 guns.
That's pretty good, right? 50 in the, I don't know.
Yeah, we haven't left page 2 yet. And you said you had some armor that you were going to delete, so.
The armor I'm not worried about. I can go through that. I just need to make some builds and whatever. But
Okay, so
that's really weapons I'm looking for.
let's tap through and see if we got some dupes.
Okay. A couple of the new
dupes.
new pulls from comp. I don't know what the best one of these is. I'm not really a
it
huge
feels
pulse
like
guy,
the
but
rapid hit head seeker is probably the best.
I've
heard that head seeker is not ass anymore.
No, yeah, it's actually pretty decent. I'm still. It's weird for me because I still think of it's being bad from like years and years in Destiny 1. I wasn't a big fan, but people seem to like it a lot now. This is probably kind of niche for builds, but I don't think I'll use it. I know Slice is kind of interesting, but
yeah.
Elemental probably not on this. I don't think I would use too much. I think that's probably still my best one. Yeah.
I would be more of a rapid head seeker guy personally, but I know there's a lot of people who do like. Okay, never mind. You're getting rid of it.
No, I think this is still. I think that's still the best one. I think my hunter even has a few more from playing comp recently to go through. So
okay, all right, fine.
Good enough.
You have 2 divinities.
I do.
One of those can go.
I think I'll keep the 1810. All right.
Okay. We have a lot of one-offs here. I feel like we probably went through a lot of the sunset weapons. So I'm not going to go through them
anything that
again.
sunset is like either a trophy or like a rare, hard to get thing. So we can just ignore those, I think.
Yeah, and you don't have too many of them, so I'm not gonna press you for that.
Mm-hmm. Here's a good question. Here's some I got 2 deafenings. I got an auto loading. Probably neither of these are great other than auto loading. But if you were to keep one, I assume. I mean, it's kind of weird because like you wouldn't underdog if you're using it with the auto loading is not great.
Very
either,
counterintuitive.
Huh? Yeah.
The only good one of these,
either,
yeah,
right?
the only good one of these was Ambitious Assassin Rampage. That's the only good one.
Okay.
So honestly, if you decide to get rid of both and just got your hands on like a harsh language or something,
yeah,
I would go with that. But if you don't have one of those, then just hold on to it just to have a void wave frame. This is one of very few checklist weapons that I'm going to say you should have.
That's what I was thinking. Yep.
But otherwise, I mean, harsh language isn't even that great. I don't think it's that great either, but at least it's something.
Out of the 2 of these, which are we keeping? We're keeping the
no, get rid of the underdog one. Get rid of that one.
So even killing wind, I mean, like, does it help? I guess it gives us some stats. So
yeah,
okay.
At least you get some stats. With this, like, you don't want to be manually reloading it. You want to let auto loading do its thing.
Yep, 100%. Okay.
Trusty.
Gosh, I probably kept this for PvP ages ago, but this is one you could farm this up if you really wanted one from the raid.
You do have to spam some deep stone. But I mean, it's the first encounter, which is like a 2-minute encounter.
Yeah.
So it's not that bad if you want to go farm it. But
I think I can get rid of it. This is not one that I tend to use. Same with posterity, really. I've never liked posterity. It's not a posterity main.
Yeah, as a keyboard mouse player, 180 RPM hand cannon is kind of cringe.
I've kept this because of Drewski in his honor, because I know he'll leave posterity. But yeah. Man, even Adored, I could probably just get rid of this too, because I'll never use this now with Beloved and Mercurial and all that. And you could just reprint another one, right? I'm pretty sure it's printable. Either way, it's just,
and you can also get like Beloved.
Yeah, there's just better snipers now. That was before. Well, I guess shortly after sunsetting, that was like the best sniper. But okay, what else do we see here? Got a red border here. The Battler. Probably extract this bad boy.
Yeah. I did a weapon, like best legendary weapons as voted on by myself and my community, and people said the BXR was one of the best in its class for both PvE and PvP for like solar pulses. Yeah. Another thing this is something that I think you should get the pattern for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Blunt execution rounds just never really popped off. I'm sure there's some like very niche. No, but if you equip the Solar Hunter and you like if you do all that, sure, BXR can do a thing with blunt execution.
Yeah,
Whatever.
Yeah.
Nobody's using it. Nobody's doing that with blunt execution. So it was a neat novelty. You got 2 with blunt execution rounds. I'm just sticking with El Clasico, Outlaw Kill Clip.
I think so too. Yeah, this is one of those like you try to make this combo work, but like realistically, there's a reason it's still 1600 and hasn't probably come out of the vault since the 30th anniversary whenever I got it.
Good gun, but I think go get the pattern.
Yeah, and this one's more versatile, I guess, for if you PvE also if you want, So.
Is that an Eternal Blazon on the 4th row 2 over?
This this
left,
way.
Sorry.
Pleiades?
Oh no, it's a Pleiades Corrector.
It's a throwback weapon. I haven't seen this thing for a minute.
This might have been a checklist weapon. We no longer need this.
Okay.
In our lives.
It's another one that I just don't use really. I never use scouts in PvP for the most part. So
we have a Chrysura Mellow right next to it.
Yeah, I don't even remember this gun much at all.
What is this?
Yeah, this is I'm not a big fan of the slow firing autos for PvP, so this is probably another delete here.
And isn't Amit like a 360 as well?
Amit I think is 450.
Or is it 450? Sure. I forget which one it is.
Either way, I'm not a big fan of the slow firing ones for PvP. I know some people like them, but
it is a 450.
It might be a mouse and keyboard versus controller thing. They just kind of feel slow and clunky. So,
okay, I'm a lot of dupes on this 3rd row. Let's check the is that Cartesian on the 2nd row? You got a couple of those?
Oh yeah, 2 of these. Yeah, what's better here? So I guess this is probably more of a PvP thing, I suppose, right?
Yeah, that is definitely a PvP thing. I mean, it's still not bad, but you said you're not a fusion guy, so...
No, I think
what you are is a very specific kind of a shader enjoyer. You love this kind of pink, blue, metallic, iridescent looking ass.
Coral.
Yeah,
that's my favorite shader.
I've noticed that on many. Vorpal weapon. I mean, okay, I'm replacing this with Aramite. Go get an Aramite and get rid of this.
I might already have a decent Aramite. Let me see. Okay, I have one controlled burst lead from gold. You like that better?
Yeah, I do like that better.
Okay.
Yeah. Watch I get a scatter signal again, because it's like insanely good perk rolls. It's the most up-to-date, moderately fast-firing fusion that you can get. And it's a strand one, which there's just not that many of.
All right, what else we got here? Okay, here's a question. So I'm going to keep one of these for PvP purposes because I might do videos on this one at some point. But for PvE, triple tap high impact Uzume.
I mean, this is like a last resort. You don't even. This thing is so old it doesn't have an origin trait on it.
Yeah, that's true.
This thing voted in the effing Reagan administration.
All right, we can delete. Okay, let's see. These are hard to throw away. Any of the firmly planted ones, like, cause that can be pretty good for PvP if you like to slide and crouch and stuff. But
do you like to slide and crouch and stuff?
Well, I do. But I would probably still use the quick draw snapshot one anyway. So
all right.
Okay. So, and granted, and over either of these, I'd still use Beloved or Mercurial. So. Annual Skate can definitely be a delete. I'm just not an Annual Skate guy.
God, there's so many things that I'd just be like, I don't even care what some of the rolls are on some of these things. I just want to like completely.
Well, name a couple.
Them.
Let's
Sojourners on 2nd row. Sojourner's Tail. Is that what it's called? Tail.
Which is this
Tail?
Yeah.
I was right.
Oh yeah, this is a PvP roll for a slug.
Yeah.
I had a friend who loved this thing, but see, this is like, I actually think this is still a pretty good, if you're into slug shotguns, it's actually like a pretty good roll, but I don't really use slugs too often. And if I am, I probably use like Chaperone or something anyway.
if we want to keep one, if this is the only one that you have,
Oh, I think it is. Yeah, I think I've whittled them down to
fine. We hold one. We hold one.
What about Vision? Does this fall under the same rule of Scouts just not that useful?
Unfortunately, it does. Also, the role that you have is like it's so weak. It's okay. so weak. Like you can get rewind, freaking like frenzy on it or something like that. What can you get? Yeah, you can get rewind frenzy. You can get rewind firefly. Yeah, you have arguably two of the. I mean, there's disruption break on it, but even then, disruption break has at least like some niche value.
Yeah. This one actually is not bad. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of this found verdict. So we're down to one, I think. I still never got like a great one, but this Matador exists, so I'll probably just use that anyway.
And real. Yeah, Matador is very, very good. Arguably easier to farm as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Although, I mean, Templar versus the Ogre, I mean, they're pretty close. Well, I don't know. I guess I don't forget where Found Verdict Adept. Either way. Yeah, Matador is way easier to farm. And you can do it at any time. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm back.
I nuked a couple while you're gone, just little ones.
This sidearm top corner.
This guy? The Keening? Oh man,
with pulse monitor Zen moment. What are we doing?
It's a throwback. People really liked that Keening when it first came out. I haven't used it since, but it's in here.
My God, just so many things that I just want to I just want to go rapid fire. Like Frontiers. Why do we have this?
We can nuke it. I've never liked that gun.
The title. Get it. Just stats while surrounded is like okay, but get it.
Yeah.
Get it out.
How about Aisha's? What do you think about this guy?
This thing had some meme potential with like third triple tap and fourth times the charm. People were like, look, I can fire 116 bullets in a row that all do 4 damage. And I'm like, great. Useless.
All right. I think we can leave it in the past for sure.
Yeah, let me see a couple of these Vow weapons on the bottom bottom left.
Yeah, here we go. Okay.
Ambitious Wellspring.
I know this is one of my ones that I've always intended to go farm is the perfect roll of this Forbearance. It's like one of the few things I wish I had that I just have never spent the time to get the pattern for. So
I would go get the pattern for that. I mean, you're not even going to use you're not even going to use Ambitious Wellspring.
No, definitely not.
If you really want to keep it just to have a physical copy of it, fine. But this is just going to rot.
Yeah, absolutely. Probably same with
Trigger's not working.
Yeah, same with the Insidious. I've never liked this for PvP. Like the look of it is weird to me. Like I wanted to like it, but I don't like the model of it very much. So.
All right. I mean, I like Insidious as a gun, but yeah, I totally you gotta have a good roll for it.
Yeah, it's more like the aim down sight just always felt like boxy to me. I'm real picky with like weapon models. If it's hard for me to see around them, I'm not a fan.
That's fair. Man, can we just like do a quick rapid fire sort of thing?
Can get rid of this Cantata because rangefinder is not great anymore.
Yeah. What about the 2 fusions?
Right here. I got Snorri. Yeah.
Okay. Compulsive reload. Reservoir burst. Reservoir burst goes hard if you can extend the size of the magazine. But and the compulsive reloader reservoir burst is like some sneaky tech for like one season. But now that we can get things that make the mag even bigger for reservoir burst, and we can get stuff like controlled burst along the same lines, I think compulsive reloader reservoir just doesn't hit. It doesn't hit this quite the same way.
We're nuking it. And then this was stats is a terrible perk for PvP also, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. I think I liked the successful warm up on it for PvP when it first came out, but I just never got a better one. How about Hollow Trace or Denial?
Hollow Denial. When I used Hollow Denial last, I think it was when I was doing Spire of the Watcher flawless second boss. That's the only time I've used it. It ain't bad. It ain't bad, but
I don't
I know
use
you ain't
traces
using it.
all that much either. Okay, how about I'm so not a glaive user, but
This is not. I feel like glaives have already like they've progressively power crept themselves since they came out, and isn't Nezarek's Whisper like one of the? Is this one of the first ones? I'm
think
trying to think of like the sequence.
Well, I guess it was the same. Would have been a little later. It was the same time as like Firefight and all that, right? Isn't this the same type of
season
weapon?
17. Yeah, I mean you're not even.
I'm not gonna use it.
You're not
real.
gonna use it.
Yeah.
There are definitely glaives out there to be using, but if you're not using them.
How about Without Remorse for 1-2 punch? Like what like I know there was a meta for 1-2 punch for from time to time, but this is a candidate
in PvE?
Yeah, like
it's still around.
Well, I guess it's still good now, but I mean like there's what I mean is the meta of which shotguns it's actually like, worth keeping around for that perk.
Yeah.
Changes.
I mean, I don't know a ton of people using Without Remorse for the 1-2 punch capabilities.
Okay.
But if it's like the only one that you have, like okay, I guess. And I mean, Hipfire Grip isn't the worst.
Yeah, I know I'm sure I have other 1-2 punch shot because that's every time I see that perk, I'm like, oh, maybe I should keep this for some random build I probably won't use.
So many shotguns that can get 1-2 punch.
Okay, I think I can nuke this then. Forgiveness. Man, this is another one like wanted to use it in PvP, but just don't really like sidearms. So, it doesn't seem particularly great for PvE either. Got a couple Heroes Burdens. Let's see, Fragile. That's decent. Well-rounded kill.
Here's my argument. Both 1600, no kills.
Yeah.
No masterwork. How long have these been rotting?
Oh, ever since they first came out. Well, it's because I had the OG Heroes Burden God roll, and so ever since then, just kind of no point to using either of these. Let's see, this would be pretty good except the barrel. I would keep this except for the barrel's bad. And then this one has more range, which is nice, and kill clip. I guess I might keep this one just because of kill clip. If I'm gonna just keep one.
But why are we keeping one? That's the root of it. It's not which one do we keep. It's why are we keeping it?
This is a recurring problem, I think, is when it's like maybe it's good at some point. The thing is, as Destiny players, we get burned from time to time when you delete something that then becomes good. For example, 120s, how many like God roll Dukes and stuff did I delete? And then they changed them to be like good from year one. So
yeah, you get another. You get an Igneous. You
get
another one.
I know.
You play Destiny players when they actually have to play the game challenge.
That's true. That's true. And my goal is to whittle this down, so I can part with that. Galu, I assume, is a straight up delete. I don't. What? I don't even know why.
How does this? It ended up in your vault and locked. You're like, the steady hands effing dragonfly sniper rifle, bro. I'm putting the lock on that one.
When a new season comes out, a lot of times I just like grab like random guns in case like I want to do a video on it or something, and then they just kind of sit in the vault and never go away. Doom, I assume same scout rifle thing.
If we are gonna keep a scout, stats 1 for all on the Chelchinator is an acceptable one to hang on to.
Okay,
acceptable in case we want to have some sort of PvE scout experience.
Okay, okay. How about Under Your Skin? I'm not a bow player much, so.
What is this? Firmly planted adaptive. Get it out. Get this out of my face. What is this? Anything adaptive munitions, it should be an instant delete.
Okay, that's good rule so to go by.
Like, if you go into your vault and you just are into the dim and you're like has adaptive munitions, basically anything that pops up should probably be an insta delete.
Yeah. How's a perk name?
Look, it's not even giving you a preview of a there you go. Let's see. Two
Okay,
items.
No, two. Yeah. Okay. So I've got
One's a ritual, so fine, and then you have a machine gun.
chain of command.
Chain of command.
And,
It comes built in, and that's fine.
Okay, and then this guy.
Principle: any current adaptive munitions. What? Who
I don't even know.
bro.
I don't even remember where this came from.
You are cooked. You were cooking. You burned the food.
In there. So
okay. See, I feel like you can go through. Just tab through a few more pages. I just want to see what you got. What you got going.
Okay, here's good. So we got a couple blowouts we can talk about, and then we're down to armor. So we're actually almost at the very end here.
Okay.
So blowout. Which if I keep any of these, what's worth? Demo. Adrenaline. Okay, explosive, ambitious is probably the one, I suppose, right?
Honestly, none of these. Maybe if you wanted to, well, I don't know. Golden Tricorn is tough to activate in the middle of a DPS phase.
Yes.
So that's not really great. And then you have Ambitious Assassin, Explosive Light, which like you need to prime Ambitious Assassin first. So you need to kill something, then reload, then hold on to it for the damage phase, and even then you're only getting one rocket.
Yeah.
Demo is kind of the same thing where you throw a grenade, you get an instant reload, but Adrenaline Junkie is doing pretty much nothing for you.
For a rocket, yeah.
So like honestly, none of them are really super enticing.
What was the role that Salt was going? Wasn't he going for like some role to like?
They were going for demo Explosive Light. And I think that was specifically for solo Nezarek.
Yes, that's what I remember. Okay. Well, and I'm not going to probably solo that. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. How about Wendigo? Any Wendigos worth keeping here? Got explosive and auto?
I would probably keep... I feel like grenade launchers are going to be a weapon where you're going to want to dump everything as fast as possible and therefore not want auto-loading holster. So, like, for me, I'd be looking more at field prep because you just crouch and you just spam reload. But the problem is with that is that Explosive Light only works for, 6 shots or something like that. And then it goes back down to, like, no damage. So this is good for, like, shorter phases. But Frenzy would be better for longer phases because it works for every grenade shot. So I'm kind of torn.
Okay. I don't know. I have used neither of them one time. I got them from the Nightfall, then haven't touched them. So, okay, I'm gonna get rid of the auto loading one. Okay. Maybe people will be unhappy with that, but Apex. Okay, this is a question. So Apex, I know I still have the kind of the meta like bait and switch role, whatever. But so, do you think there's any like danger zone explosive? Is this something that people care about? Like
no.
Okay.
Nobody cares about Danger Zone. Apex is rockets for DPS are all about how many rockets can I shove in my rocket before a damage phase and during a damage phase. Anything else is irrelevant.
Okay, good to know.
Get rid of this.
Okay, we got a LFR here, Clown Cartridge Hatchling. Probably Hatchling doesn't matter. What about?
Yeah, I mean, Clown is great. Hatchling, that's not great. Yeah, and I mean, you can really get you can get a Doomed Petitioner, which is just from season 23 this season, and that's like, I think either close to or above Cataclysmic. Like they're in the same category where you can use either one. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Like if you already have a Cataclysmic and you didn't want to go get it, I'd be like, all right, whatever. But the min-maxers out there, Doomed Petitioner is, if you don't want to farm a Cataclysmic or you can't farm a Cataclysmic, you go get a Doomed Petitioner and you do just as well or better. And you have one. You have one right there. But I don't know. It's not the crafted, so I don't know what you got.
Which one is this? Where?
It was on the next page.
Oh, yeah, right here.
Yeah. And you got Recon Surrounded. That ain't bad either. I mean, Surrounded, you got to be in a very specific situation.
Right. Yeah.
Otherwise, you want Precision Instrument. But that ain't bad for like surrounded friendly boss fights and stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I'll keep that one then. How about Mercado?
I mean, it's okay. It's an okay
If
roll.
it's okay, I'm deleting it. We're looking for.
I respect it.
Yeah. What about the sword?
This is a ritual, isn't it?
Is it?
I think it's a ritual weapon.
okay.
That's a ritual weapon looking ass.
Get rid of this then.
Or sword. I guess.
Only
It's
swords
not
I
really
really
a gun.
ever use are eager edge swords. So, speaking of which, how about like gold tusk? Probably get rid of any of these old. Like, are there any swords that are actually worth?
Okay, I was actually going to say hold on to that one because it's Relentless Strikes, Whirlwind Blade,
Yeah.
which is El Clasico. You really got to like incandescent on a sword to want to use it. So this is something that I think you can get rid of.
Okay.
I would have kept the gold tusk. I think that would have been okay.
I'm sure I can get another one if I ever need to actually.
Let me see. I feel like these bottom two rows. I feel like we can ditch so much stuff.
Yeah.
Just start from the left, fourth row. Chain of command, you can pull it out of collections. Get rid of this.
Okay.
You're not using it anyway. Fixed odds, under pressure, killing tally. It's not great, but for the sake of time, just hang on to it for now because I don't know if you have any other.
I think I kept it for
solars.
PvP probably back in
Okay.
Quillums.
This is, I mean, I know you're not using it. Killing tally is okay, but you really want some sort of magazine restoring thing, or you want to go headstone. I use a headstone Quillums.
And you can craft this, right? If
You can also
really,
craft
if
it.
you, yeah. The Quillums, the only reason I really kept that is because of D1. I loved Quillums and PvP in D1. That was like my favorite
one of the best
for a
MGs.
long time. Yeah. So it's more of a nostalgia factor, but that's not a particularly good one anyway.
Gotcha.
Sales by
Ass.
okay. Mutiny.
Ritual, you can pull it.
Here's a crafted Typon, so probably keep
Keep.
that. Yeah. Retrofit.
Okay, you got the no, this is 4th times 1 for all. This is one you want target lock on. I mean, I guess technically speaking, you could like tap 3 targets and then go to town on the 4th times if you really want to do that. This has literally 0 play on it though. I can tell very easily that this has literally never been used. So this would have been a thing to go get the pattern for. I don't think you're using any sort of retrofit, escapade, 4th times, target lock, damage strategies anyway.
Nope.
So I think you could probably ditch it because that's the only time I'm personally using it.
Nuked. Terminus
Ass.
Horizon, bad.
I don't like Volt Shot on primaries. I like on
Okay, yeah,
machine gun.
that makes sense.
Not so much.
Yep. What about this grenade launcher?
This is it's okay.
Demo
It's okay. I saw you had 3 of these when you first pulled up the stream, so
Oh.
I don't know what else you got. But for
Okay.
now, it's okay. It's okay.
Okay. How about
Greatest thing
Briar's
I've ever seen.
Contempt?
Do you have the pattern?
Probably not. No.
Ass.
Okay. And Circular Logic. I liked this one when it first came out, but
Yeah.
Not something I've used
I'm gonna say
recently.
keeper actually.
okay. I liked
Yeah,
this a lot
Envious
when Nightfall
Hatchling.
first came out. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a keeper.
Dimensional. No,
Ass.
Okay.
Dog. All dog.
How about this rocket?
Doo doo.
One. And then we're back to the cat.
If
Oh, yeah,
this
we
is the
cut-
only cataphract you have,
I think I deleted the other one. So yeah.
okay. This is far from the god roll.
Okay,
Very
what is
far
the
from
god roll? What are you looking for?
It's
God roll
it's
is?
envious bait and switch.
Okay, makes sense. I mean, so here's the thing: is there any reason for me to like? I'm probably never going to use this anyway. Then, right? Like, if it's not even close to a god roll,
You bring up a lot of good points. Ass.
Okay. Anything that's PVE that's like a
Garbage.
niche thing, I probably don't need it. Hot
You have two. You have 2. Hang on, real quick. You have 2 rocket launchers.
2 of these,
One's crafted.
Premieres.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. You can get
so
rid of that
just
one.
get rid of this guy. Yep.
Okay, rocket, real quick.
Yeah. What about Hothead? We talked about that one. Impulse, Clown.
All right, impulse is ass. Clown is good.
Yeah.
And you have impact casing. What rocket do you use for DPS right now?
Well, now I use what the raid one. What's it called?
You use Apex.
I just
Okay.
I just recently finally.
All right,
crafted that
therefore,
one.
ass.
Okay. Okay. What about Reed's Regret? I have a like this is a better roll for PV. I never got the
Okay, well,
the
first of
new
all, this one. Okay,
this is-
you have firing line on this freaking thing. I was gonna say if you had hip fire adagio, what are we cooking? But
well,
at least
I
you
think
have
that was the
firing
PV.
line.
That was the PvP thing because I think Adagio you can one shot body, or at least
Okay.
I used to be able to. I think so.
Um,
Not that I use it, but
I mean,
theoretically.
reads is no longer the dominant thing
Okay.
that it was because Vice Stinger got nerfed.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Okay,
And
that makes
so
sense.
you can just, again, you can farm to Doom Petitioner. It's in the seasonal activity. You don't have to farm trials. You don't have to do anything hard at all. You can just do that.
Yep. How about Heretic? Another rocket. Delete. Demo Genesis.
Aeus.
Seventh Seraph.
Garbage.
No more war. No more. I'm sure I kept that just because of Warmind Souls back when those existed.
And for
Archon.
a while, it was still one of the better machine guns because Arc was just getting doo-doo.
Yeah. I
Straight
remember that.
doo-doo. Speaking of straight doo-doo.
Archons. Delete. Corrective measure. How about that? Was another D1.
Do D, unless you're using this for PvP, in which case it's
No,
okay.
I have other ones I like better for PvP anyway. Swarm.
Ass.
I know they are buffing machine guns in PvP here, but
Yeah.
I have some other ones that I think are better. Like this guy, for example, Commemoration. I always liked better.
Yeah.
But Tarnation.
What in tarnation is this? Ass.
Chain reaction.
I don't care now about no damn chain reaction on a power.
Any other things you see here? Quick deletes.
I'm sure maybe there's one more thing, but like I think we're
That's
good
pretty
here.
good. Yeah.
Yeah. And
All right.
there's not a chance that you go through the rest of these weapons and not delete some of this stuff.
Oh,
like
no,
if
for sure.
if I
I
just
can-
gotta
I
hit
can
you with a
go-
rapid fire, like give me another very quick rapid fire here.
Yep.
Like do middle row.
Middle
Middle
okay.
row.
Royal
Ass.
Executioner. Glaive.
Ritual weapon.
Wizen Rebuke.
Ass.
To say I don't.
How
I
does
don't
this
use
stuff?
it.
How does this stuff make it into your vault? How? How does it get here?
The thing is, it goes in there and then just stays in there until I delete
like
it
this-
someday.
But how does it get in there in the? Why not just delete it right away?
Well, it's mostly okay. A new season comes out, and I'm like, not sure what's good yet. Haven't spent time to look for, or figure out what's good yet. So then it just stays in there temporarily. And then the problem is if I, don't go through, then it gets clogged up with a lot of bad stuff. So,
But
probably
it's just like the perk combos that make it in here. That's to me is just like the baffling thing.
it's
It's
literally
Your brain was like, okay, Genesis Dragonfly Sniper. What can I cook with this? Meanwhile, it's like a loaf of bread that's been left out for 3 weeks. It's stale. It's getting moldy. I'm like, what can I cook with the moldy bread, bro?
it's literally
Sometimes
it's like
it's just a
good
moldy piece of
perks.
bread, and there's
Yeah.
nothing to cook.
I literally keep good PvP perks I see, I'll throw in there instantly. And then any PvE thing that I'm not sure about, I'll throw in there temporarily with the intention of deleting it, but then it just doesn't happen. That's pretty much my process.
Do you do a lot of your gameplay on stream or off stream?
Mix, but mostly off lately.
Mostly off. Okay, fine. Because I was gonna say, if you're doing this while you're streaming, my chat loves to tell me like, you just deleted a god roll, blah, 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 this, and I'm just like, so here's what I do now is I'll keep stuff until I get off stream and then I delete it immediately. But now I've stopped doing that. I just delete everything that comes in because people will yell at me like, "This is good, it's a god roll, bro. What are you doing? I haven't seen this one since 2006." And so I just get rid of it. So if anything, just have your chat yell at you to be like, this is ass. Like, why are you keeping this?
Yeah. I feel you.
Sometimes there is nothing to cook, and that's okay.
Yep. All right. Rapid fire this row,
Okay.
and then let's call it
Rapid fire. Let's see.
harsh.
Okay. Actually keep. Keep.
Title. We
Ass.
already got rid of the other one. So, greasy luck. I've never used this before. Glaive.
And you won't with this one. Not with opening shot.
Okay. Unexpected resurgence.
I don't know enough about glaives to say if you should delete this. Surrounded seems like it would be good, so I'm going to keep.
Okay. I was going to delete, but it's all right.
Ass.
I don't like age old either. Tyranny
Garbage.
of Heaven. Techion. This is control.
Okay,
This is
I mean,
probably
control
reason I
burst.
kept that. Yeah.
Let's get the pattern for this. This is worth getting the pattern for.
Okay.
Top 3 Last Wish patterns.
Yeah. Okay. Mercurial.
You said you like Mercurial. I'm not going to touch that.
I have a better one though now. I finally got the opening shot one, so.
Okay, then yeah, get rid of
this. This is a ritual, right?
Some people love this hand. I had no idea that this had such a cult following hand
really
cannon for
does.
PvE.
Yeah.
Because I mean, okay, stats.
Oh, for PvP too, people like it. Like
people love it for PvE.
Love this thing.
Yeah. So I mean, I have yet to use it. I use Azali's Bane. And I feel like that's maybe why people use it is because they don't have Azali's Bane.
Okay.
But like, yeah, I mean, it's
okay.
good if you know
Right,
Azali's. Yeah, if you know Azali's, just feels good. Yeah, I haven't used it, but I know people love it. So. Holy ass! What is this?
This is actually a very specific meme roll where it's actually good if you like to hip fire. You can hip fire an offhand strike and like map people, but I won't really use it. It's just it was fun for a meme. But it actually was, especially with freehand grip. It's like hilariously good actually. But
some of the other things that you've shown me.
Yeah, it's not one I actually just dislike this gun in general, so I'm just gonna get all of them. Good. But yeah,
doo-doo.
Yeah, rangefinder on sniper, I just never keep that. I mean, I have other Igniuses for PvP. Any reason to keep a PvE Igneous like this with golden tricorn?
I mean, golden tricorn for like a solar weapon. I'm thinking like a solar titan or maybe a solar hunter, where it's pretty easy to proc it, so you could reasonably get it rolling. But is it something that I'm really that invested in? Not really. All
right, then we're deleting it because I feel like I have other Igniuses around for PvP. Lithophobia.
Ass.
Okay. And Scalar.
Keep away attrition orbs? I mean, was this cooking in PvP?
No, I think just keep away is decent, but I think it was more just new gun beginning of the season type of thing.
Yeah. All right.
And Horde.
Oh my god.
Aerosol deconstruct.
I don't know how you managed to have these some of the worst rolls I've ever seen.
I'll take pride in that.
Completely unironically, some of the worst I've ever seen.
It's mostly just from throwing stuff in here lately and then not dealing with it until a session like this where I just like go through and like, okay, we need to start cleaning stuff up. So okay. Parabellum.
I have no idea if this is good. I don't use heel clip, but I also don't many people who use heel clip. Okay. So
I'm just gonna.
And I know it is getting buffed though.
What about repulsor brace? Any value in that anymore? I know like
not with over under.
Okay, I know it was popular for a little bit with like Gear Falcons and whatever.
Yeah, not with that. So
all right,
yeah,
well,
you can finish. Keep going.
Good.
Go through the rest of these. You can definitely get another chunk of weapons out of here, and then the armor situation. You said you know what you're doing, so I'm gonna let you. Do your thing on that.
Yeah, I can go through those. Well, thank you for the cleanup help. I appreciate it.
Of course.
We're down 150 items or so that's awesome.
Yeah. And you just be a little more diligent. I know you're like, let's hold on to some stuff.
Yeah.
But like when some stuff is like a loaf of bread and then like a hot dog that was on the ground, don't rinse it off. Just get a new hot dog.
All right. Words to live by. Okay, I spent a little bit more time in here after working with Datto, and I think he should be happy. I am down to 399. Got pretty much rid of all of the duplicates. There's a couple still mortals to go through and wait and see which ones are the best, but for the most part, it's pretty clean, I would say. Also went through the armor a little bit. I could probably do a little bit more in here, but it's pretty cleaned up, I would say. It's about the best I could hope for until I do a lot more armor trimming, so hope Datto is happy and proud of me. Thanks again to War Thunder for sponsoring the video. You can try it out for free on PC, PlayStation, or Xbox, and use my link in the pinned comment or the video description to register. Those of you who are new or haven't played for 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms, including multiple premium vehicles, in-game currency, and more. Up next, check out my video on the most powerful weapons in the Destiny meta right now. It's linked on screen and in the description.